Every year, a group of players take the leap from role players, solid contributors, or showing flashes of potential to become stars in the AFL. Here are 6 players right now that are in frame and will have the opportunity to break out in 2024. Now for this definition of breaking out, it's aiming towards an All-Australian squad finish or being in the top half dozen players at their club. If you have any breakout players in mind, leave them in the comments down below. Let's get into it. The last 5 games saw Hayden Young injected into the midfield. Every one of those games saw him attain a minimum of half of Freo's centre bounces, with the last 4 games all going over 70%. It's a match made in football heaven. With David Mundy retired, Nat Fyfe in and out, the big body Young can complement the grunt work of Andrew Brayshaw and Caleb Serong. The unique aspect of Young's game is his cleanliness and precision by foot that can be a weapon around the ground. He's had 3 straight seasons with a kicking efficiency of at least 74.6%, and he always looks to move the ball forward, averaging 21.1 metres per disposal. He'll kick the ball more than handballing it, and you can easily picture Brayshaw or Serong feeding Young with their hands and Young lacing out a leading forward. He also played a defensive role in Dangerfield in round 20, showing the potential as a two-way midfielder on the bigger bodies in the competition. With a full pre-season in the role and learning the mechanics of the midfield, don't be surprised if he wins Fremantle's best and fairest and is a top 20 player at season's end. He has so many tools at his disposal. The final series of Kadeem Coleman was some of the best football we have seen him play. 23 games was the most of his career. He will be 24 at the start of next season, and with Daniel Rich out, the distribution role is sitting there for the taking. He went from 1.3 intercept marks in 2022 to 1.7 in 2023, so reaching 2 per game is in clear sight. This is another dynamic element that Rich didn't have that Coleman can provide. He doesn't have the booming kick like Rich, but he can still get good distance and can cut teams apart, as we saw against Carlton in the prelim final where he was near best on ground. We saw a similar performance the following week, but he faded as the grand final went on. This is where the big improvement can come from. Reaching another level of fitness is a must to help Coleman control entire games rather than in quarters or halves. Getting his time on ground into the mid-80s and giving him the ball exiting defence will no doubt help the Lions rebound in slower plays and give them a different tempo when Connor McKenna and Darcy Wilmot aren't streaming away. We all see what Coleman brings, and it's just about improving another 10% to be in the highest bracket of rebounders and interceptors. Max Holmes attended 28% of Geelong's centre bounces in 2023. In the last 4 or 5 weeks, he was positioned more in his natural wing spot and played well. But in 2024, he should be given at least 50% of the Cats centre bounces. He is slight in frame, but a comparable player to him is Zach Butters. He is agile and lightning quick, which is perfect surrounded by other midfielders in Tom Atkins, Cam Guthrie, Mark Blitzarves and Patrick Dangerfield. His 19 disposals per game last year can reach the mid-20s mark, and with that burst he has shown with ball in hand, imagine him streaming out of the centre square. Playing directly in the middle can also help him get in more dangerous positions forward of centre. It helped Butters go from 10 to 13 goals, and the positional switch can help Holmes' total of 7 goals last year, pushing to double figures next season. It seems like a must-do move to inject some youth in an ageing midfield and try to uncover a speedy star on baller. Compared to the previous 3, Trent Rivers is the furthest from a sure thing. It depends on a couple variables. If Clayton Oliver is out for the beginning of the year, it leaves a vacuum of space in the middle, as Oliver attended 81% of Melbourne's centre bounces. Christian Petrarca and Jack Viney are mainstays, so there are a couple spots up for grabs. Angus Brayshaw can play there, but he may be on a wing or in defence, and with no James Jordan or James Harms, Tom Sparrow is the other most likely. This is where the Western Australian comes into the mix. He had a career best year in 2023, averaging 20 disposals per game and a career-high player rating of 10.08. It's time to carry that momentum further up the ground. He has the 188cm frame to replace Oliver and is very good with ball in hand, never having a season below 74% total disposal efficiency. He doesn't have the same speed and ferocity of Oliver, but will make up with his composure in traffic and kicking in space. He recently signed a long-term deal, and the 22-year-old is maturing enough to be given more responsibility in this Demons lineup. The oldest player in this list is Zach Fisher. The 25-year-old never fully cemented himself in the Blues lineup, playing 20 or more games just twice in his career. His trade to North Melbourne will see him play as a running defender, something we saw him do last year from rounds 21 to 24. Overall, it was pretty effective. He didn't fall below 24 disposals in any of the games while keeping his turnovers limited. He was unlucky to not play in finals. Aaron Hall, Jack Zeeble and Ben Mackay all gone means we will see a new look North defence. The main rebounder and counter-attacking role is in Fisher's hands. Look for him to use his run from behind and receive handballs from teammates to launch attacks. He is very quick and his light frame matches a player like Lachie Whitfield. Whitfield himself is a player Fisher should look to learn off in how to best play that running defender position. A lot of the attributes are there for Fisher, and a full pre-season learning the role will ensure he starts the season hitting the ground running. The last breakout player is one you might not have ever heard of. Josh Worrell made a splash this pre-season, with Adelaide fans excited to see him in such good shape. The 22-year-old has been a slow burn, taking time after being drafted in 2020. With no training in this period of time, he came into the AFL in poor condition, something which he recently admitted has been driving him to become a great professional. He played a career-high 12 games last year, starting from round 13 till the season's finish. He has all-round fantastic athleticism and at 195cm is powerful in the air. With no Nick Murray, who is out with an ACL, and no Tom Duday, who left to the Lions, a second tall intercepting role will be his to start the year. He has matured a significant amount in the past 2 seasons and is a player who could really explode in season 2024. In his 12 games last year, he had 80% kicking efficiency, 6.5 intercept possessions, 5 spoils and 5 rebound 50s per game, showing how well rounded his skill set is.